All right, welcome back to another episode of Twisting Podcast with your boy 12. You know how it is already. We're going over our chapter review for chapter 1142. What I'm afraid of. And we start off again knowing with the cover art. Yamato finally comes inside, like we said last week, what she would be doing. She finally popped up inside there and took out Who's Who, saving Pei and Uti. Now, this right here, of course, she did it not to save them, but she did it because she's saving the girls that were kidnapped and to save the sword that was stolen. So, at the end of the day, I think Pei and Uti might still join forces with Yamato and should be under her command. But who knows? We'll see. We know for a fact that they didn't care about being pirates. They just cared about, Uti just cared about being next to Pei, of course. But so, who knows about that too much? We start off, though, with the children yelling, screaming out for help. As we left off from the last chapter, Summers and Killingham, of course, and Gunko were all about to start the game. The game, of course, has to involve the children as they flew over the Warrior School, and that's exactly where they're at right now. They're screaming out, help, help, help. There's a huge snake inside the yard. And this snake just isn't any type of snake. We've seen this kind of beast before, like dragon-like beast. It kind of looks like the dragon that we've seen up on Punk Hazard back then when we were going through it. The green dragon that was flying through, of course. This looks like a more evolved version of it. But it shows that there is a giant snake there trying to get after the kids and eat them. Now, we have the teachers there. We have Mr. Blade, who is our math teacher. We have Principal Tusk, who is, of course, the Warrior School principal. And also we have Miss Ainge, which is the library that's there. The librarian. The faculty room is going crazy. They're ready to jump in action because some of these people are actually old warriors of the sea. She jumps up inside there. Principal Tusk jumps up finally, and Principal Tusk says, enough of this. I'm going in right for it. So Principal Tusk jumps out. He grabs his giant walrus hammer and just charges right in, smacking the giant snake into the air, putting his head directly upwards. And then out of nowhere, we get kind of like a Kobe-ish, Garp-ish moment with the Honesty Impact / Galaxy Impact, except this is a little bit different. This here is the midterm X-Slam. And he comes right down. Soul comes charging down with a hockey power fix and just whams up on this giant snake, seemingly one-shotting it after getting the assist Principal Tusk, of course. And the children are all looking on because they're looking on like, wow, like they can really fight. They can really get down. And Principal Tusk is just like, oh, my back. Thanks for the assist, Saul. Oh, I can't do this anymore. My old age catching up to me. But Saul, of course, is sitting there like, of course, no problem. You know I always got your back. Not to mention that we were both once former members of the same exact giant pirates. So the kids are looking on. They're super strong. But some kids are now falling asleep and getting knocked out. Which emerges from the beard comes Robin and Chopper as they look on with it. And they're like, what is going on now? Now, as these kids get knocked out, we also see that there's a teacher knocked out, the gym teacher, Mr. Wolf. He's beaten, he's bloody everywhere up on him, and people are looking like, what the hell just happened? So now Chopper is looking on like, hey, let me down right here. Let me go help the children that's being knocked out. But it's not just children being knocked out. The teacher was knocked out as well, Mr. Wolf. But now the children are sleepwalking. Because one student comes inside there and says, hey teacher, they won't respond. These kids are now walking towards somewhere in a single file line. And we look even closer and we can see one of Gunko's arrows like kind of like navigating them towards where they're supposed to be going. So obviously this is like the start, I believe, of the game. And the game involves the children being asleep somehow, some way. The giant figure that we seen that popped up with the snake at the very beginning part of it, and now Gunko's arrows, which are navigating the kids somewhere. What the hell is going on? The whole country is now in disarray. And Mr. Blaze says, you know what? I got this. And blows a giant horn to sound the alarm. Just alarm going crazy with it. And as the alarm is going crazy, they look aside the horizon and they see more giant ominous figures. And these figures these figures shouldn't be right there. Saul and Principal Tusk are just sitting there looking on like, yep, we might be fucked. So, it's time for them to jump into action and see what they can do about taking out some of these figures. While this is all going on, remember, the underworld, Loki was just set free-ish. He still has his chain cuff link on next to his left ankle, I believe. The one that Zoro said, you know what, I'll keep everything off, but I'm not taking that off. We can't have you at full power just yet. And we look at this panel, though, and we see that how big Loki really is. And Loki is standing straight up, but he looks like a super giant, which makes sense because he is supposed to be he's like a Ors type figure when it comes down to that statue, especially depending upon, grandpa and all the other stuff like that going on with it. He is expected to be this huge of a giant because Hiroden is there as well, along with the big three now, the monster trio. We have Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy all down in the underworld now after Sanji fell down and crashed. And they're all looking on, and they're simply just like, wow, this man is fucking huge. As Hiroden comes up to like his kneecap, if that. And he has Ragnir inside his hand. So now we know that Ragnir is there, which is a play up on Thor's hammer. And we have Loki, which means it's a 1-on-1 situation now. Oda pretty much wrote them to be the same as that character, so there will be no thunder god coming in trying to help out. Only lightning god that we even talk about is a nail. So follow strong. But the way they're like, what's the deal? What is going on with this guy? And Loki is just sitting there like, you finally freed me. You freed my shackles, and I'm going to bring you all to ruins. As he winds up and just hits the Atom Tree. Bow! One good time. And as he swings the giant Atom Tree, swings the Ragnir into the Atom Tree, lightning is coming down. Every hit he gets, bow! Another storm comes. Bow! Another one. And if you look on, remember, one of Elbaph's true weakness is lightning. And not just lightning, but lightning and fire. And when lightning strikes a branch or tree or wood, for instance, it's kind of like causing that friction to start happening, which means now that fast friction from lightning that hits it causes fire now to start going everywhere. So we have places and different branches now on fire inside of Elbaph country as we sit here and figure out how we're going to either stop Loki, stop him from attacking this. All he wants is to be set 100% free. He doesn't know what he'll be doing, but he wants it 100% free. And we know that he's going to go after two people, Shanks and Shamrock. But Shanks and Shamrock are no longer up on the island, so this may leave Loki to want to leave the island and go after them. But he's just willing and willing and wailing. And as he's doing this, we get a cut back to the Warrior School where they're talking a little bit and trying to recognize some of the things that's going on. And the librarian Ange looks on and she says, you know what? I recognize these monsters. Earlier, there was an assignment that I had tasked the students with for them to draw their worst fears. Some of these students right here were like, hey, that would give us nightmares. But librarian Ange looks on and says, hey, you know what? It's going to cause some nightmares, but this is not for that. This purpose of this is to get you over your fears. So what are some things that you got that you all fear? We have kids drawing Nika. This has to be the Nika that was before the Joy Boy that we had. This had to be the Nika that was ruled over as a powerhouse of evil, not the good liberating one. So we have an evil Nika, we have the Liberator or the Revolutionary Nika, and then we have the pirate / most free man in the world Nika, which of course will become Luffy as we go through and play through some of the things. But some of these say, hey, I got Nika right here. All right, this one right here is scarier, is Loki. How about this giant wolf, Ghost, Storms, different types of people, like their moms, all type of stuff that's going on. And these kids have been drawing their worst fears, and that's what's come to life. Their worst fears. This version, these things of the world that terrify the children the most. As you look at it, it's a giant teddy bear with like a dome cap on his head. This giant dragon type beast that we see. Have a huge Hulk, a bird figure type thing inside the sky. Somebody drew Loki inside the middle that has like a sword and probably a hammer on his back and two hands. There's this giant wolf with this ominous smile up on him that looks like the wolf from what do you call that show? Seven Deadly Sins. The wolf that goes around with King. Definitely looks like it a little bit. And then we have a giant thundercloud inside the sky as well. What is this over here? It's something that we have Nika that's running around, the evil version of Nika. A giant skeleton is coming up out the ground. Undead zombie marching inside there. A ghoul / ghost. And then, of course, the very last one looks like Big Mom a little bit. The original Big Mom that we seen back then when Odin didn't give us the exact drawing of it, but gave us just a silhouette of like, this is going to be the 4 emperors. Here is Big Mom. This looks just like that picture of Big Mom that was back then when it was shown. But, of course, these are the drawings of the children that they fear the most. So now we start to get a little understanding of what's going on as the three, as Ange, Principal Tusk, and Jaguar D Saw are looking on at the horizon like, fuck, we gotta really deal with this. I don't know what to do anymore at this point. Let's just fucking figure it out. They're looking on and completely just freaked out about what's going on with things. Now that jumps us to our final panels, our final few, of course, of the chapter, where we have Kiringham, we have Gunko, and we have Summers. Summers is back sitting down, of course, and I wonder if his devil fruit is tied to him sitting inside the chair, of course, or if he can use it outside of the chair, because he's using it inside the chair, and maybe he has to be either asleep or something of that nature, or in a comfortable, relaxed state. So he chooses to sit down in order for him to actually use his devil fruit ability. Kiringham is sitting on, and it says this time limit is until the kids reach the ship. So we know that there's a time limit set now, and with the time limit being set, this probably is like, all right, cool. The kids have to travel alone. Gunko is going to guide them with it. But Kiringham put them to sleep so they can sleepwalk. So this might be an effect of all three of their devil fruits working together, in order for the kids to be going through some type of sleepwalk paralysis that's leading them exactly to the beach. And then if Kiringham is doing something, like making their nightmares come true, or if that's actually Summers making their nightmares come true, which I believe it is Summers, because Summers asks Gunko, says, hey Gunko, are you afraid of anything? And Gunko's response to that was, Nika. And that was it. Just stop right there. Said Nika, and that was the end of the chapter. So I'm looking on at it again. I'm trying to put in a side perspective. Kiringham, is he helping out some form of fashion with the time limit that has to happen, or the beast that did show up? We know that Summers, of course, is the reason why they're sleepwalking right now. And I don't know if Summers and Kiringham's devil fruit go hand in hand together, like, hey, put them to sleep, and then you come inside their dreams and then extract their deepest, darkest fears and make it into reality. Or if that's all just Summers and we haven't seen Kiringham's yet, because we know Kiringham looks like a mythical Zoan type of a Kirin, and it even has like the giant clouds coming around him, so he's inside his Zoan form, his man beast form. This brings up so many questions to just how the devil fruits are using, what the name of the devil fruits are, of course, and how their powers are working. We see the arrow leading the children down path. We see Summer sitting down, having them sleepwalking. Kiringham is there as well, but Kiringham is there, and you see the like a panel when he says, "Okay, were all ready to, and then it was ZZZ, kind of like sleep. So did he put the kids to sleep, and then did the Killingham put the kids to sleep, and then from the kids becoming asleep, now we have the deepest darkest fears getting pulled out of them by Summers, and then Gunko leading them all down path. And then just because they're asleep, he has them on a timer where you're going to be asleep for X amount of time from you to get to point A to point B, which would be the beach, so we could take off from the ship and leave from there. Really excited about this. It says to be continued, so there should be no break this week upcoming. We should have 11:42 coming right out, right behind it. Drop down below though what you guys think, or what do you all think will how the devil fruit system works with these three in particular. We know Gunko is of course an arrow fruit, but Killingham and of course Summers, we definitely want to see what your thoughts are behind those. You heard mine, of course, and that's just the quick spiel of what I can imagine his devil fruit would be. His ability is like, hey, I could extract your deepest darkest fears. I'm Freddy, bitch. I'm going to your dreams to pull out your deepest darkest fears. And Killingham is just putting them to sleep for him and having the game start with them having, hey, here's a set time limit. Let's see you guys go ahead and do what you got to do now. So with that being said, that wraps up the chapter review. I do want to see more of just how we can get what the devil fruit abilities are, how they're using them. I am excited to see that we have more powers coming in play, and not just any type of powers that we have inside but we have mythical zone powers as well, such as like with Killingham. We know for a fact that he's a Killing. He even has the entire thing wrapped around him, like he's inside of an awakened form or awakened state, and he's in this man beast form. So comment down below what you got, how you think they're, if you made it this far, of course, how you think their power system works. I want to know from you. But this is 12 officially signing off. And make sure you guys, tap in with us a little bit more on all social media platforms, because we're trying to take our way up to the very top. That's how we're going to do it. Rock out, baby. It's 12. See you in the next one.